going. We will find out. In the meantime, let's bring in our own Tom Pelissero, also live. Tom, we saw the tweet yesterday. We saw the news. We've spent many segments on this show talking about long-term contracts for running backs. The Packers decided to sign one yesterday. Give us the details about number 33, Aaron Jones, and his new deal in Green Bay.
Well, Kyle, even after the Packers opted not to franchise tag Aaron Jones, their plan was always to make a push over the weekend and try to lock him up. That's exactly what they did with Jones agreeing to a 4-year, $48 million contract. Now, we do not have the full details of the contract yet, but think of it this way. If the Packers had tagged Jones this year and next, he would have made about $19 million. My understanding is on this contract, Jones gets a little bit more than that over the first 2 years, including a $13 million signing bonus. As for the rest of the running back market, the attention now turns to Seattle's Chris Carson, Arizona's Kenyon Drake, and Jones' teammate Jamal Williams, who I can tell you is also going to have a strong market in free agency. Expect the Jets and the Patriots to be among the teams active looking for running back help in the coming days. Cal.
Another team that needs running back help would be the Steelers. I don't know if they could make that happen financially, but we appreciate that. Thank you so much, Tom. A Pro Bowler for the first time in 2020, 1,104 rushing yards, and an integral part of what they do up there in Green Bay. Aaron Jones took to Twitter to celebrate. Let's run it back, he says. Go, Pack, go. Now, according to Over the Cap, guys, his new $12 million average a year ranks tied for 6th among NFL running backs. There's a big signing bonus as part of that as well. We'll have all the full details as the league year begins on Wednesday. So what else do we expect to happen in Green Bay this week? Any other big swings, big signings in free agency, Kyle? You said they would be very active.
Yeah, and maybe more surprises. I was really surprised by this. I mean, the Packers, not only that they're all in for this year, for now, that's a this year move. Like, let's win the Super Bowl this year. And they sometimes don't make those. And I just think for a second, the legacy of the 2020 draft for the Packers gets stranger and stranger. You thought the idea that A.J. Dillon, the running back they took in the second round last year, would take over. No. Last year in the draft, they drafted a backup quarterback, a backup running back, and a backup tight end in consecutive rounds. Really strange. So Aaron Jones is there. He's going to be there. And what I would like to see, I'm going to take the big swing. I would like to see them shop Jordan Love hard. I would like to see them trade. Is there a market? I don't know. I look at it this way. Someone's about to spend a really, really rich draft pick on Trey Lance, who is really athletic project you don't know much about. Could go, who knows? You can go in the top 5. Why don't you call the Packers about this guy, who also is a really, really athletic project, who just spent a year behind the MVP in the league, and maybe the Packers are ready to say we screwed up, and we have the MVP, and Aaron's not going anywhere, and we shouldn't have made this pick, and we can unload him and get a pick. Maybe there is a market. It's like a rookie, but like a little bit less risk, and it would not be that expensive. So I still think strange things are afoot with the Packers as they were last year. The Aaron Jones thing, I don't know, looking around the table, were you guys surprised? I was. I thought he was done. He's back. He's not going anywhere. And if I'm them, I'm saying we messed up last year, and let's get something for Jordan Love.
Quickly, was it the right move, though? Because the running back money, we talk about that. Did you like the money for Aaron Jones?
I typically don't, but I'm really happy for the Packers doing a move for 2021. They may have one more season with Aaron Rodgers. We don't know. I want to just put everything on the field they possibly can to win a Super Bowl this year, so I actually did like it.
The Jordan Love thing is interesting. It's almost, when it comes to these draft prospects, it's almost like buying a new car, and then the second you get off the lot, his value already starts to sink. So if the Packers were to shop their first-round pick from last year, I think there would be a lot of skeptical and the Packers don't want to trade him for anything less than they drafted him in. So I'm fascinated.
You're not going to first.
What even the compensation is for a Jordan Love. But that would be a big splash and a sign to Aaron Rodgers that we're with you, dude, which is huge symbolically. I thought it was going to be either Aaron Jones or Corey Linsley, the center. They chose Aaron Jones. I think this is an interesting decision to choose a running back when you have an A.J. Dillon as a second-round pick over Corey Linsley. If you're not familiar, Corey Linsley was the best center in football last year. He is also a free agent, number 63 there. He was an all-pro, 7-year player. They love him in that building. Rodgers is a fan, and of course, LaFleur, that's his guy on the offensive line. But they go with the running back position, which we love Aaron Jones, big personality, and a great, great running back, and far and away the best running back on the free agent market. I wonder when they're looking at their numbers, like, all right, $12 to $13 million for a running back over what would have been maybe $8 or $9 million for a center. they're choosing the right. I don't think they can bring both. So I think Lindsley hits the market. I think he's going to be a hot free agent. And I would double down on what Tom Pelissero said. And when Tom's talking and he gives teams this early, I'd listen. Tom Pelissero said Jamal Williams has a market. Jets and Patriots as two teams already there. As long as you got two teams, a little bit of a bidding war, that could absolutely take the Packers out of the Jamal Williams sweepstakes. So when you get Aaron Jones, you lose Corey Lindsley most likely, you lose Jamal Williams, you do it with number 33, Aaron Jones. Interesting decision.
Yeah, congratulations to Aaron Jones. When you look at what he did on the field, it's no wonder that they went out there and paid him. And then when you listen to every single player talk about him, they all spoke so highly of him. So I'm glad that they were able to work out a deal. And he put in the work. It's not often you have a guy that can put up numbers statistically and get paid like he did. So congratulations. For me, I'm not looking on the offensive side of the ball. I'm looking on the defensive side of the ball. Because as much as I'm looking back on this Packers season, the first thing that jumps out is how great Aaron Rodgers was. He was our league MVP. A couple of star players on offense, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. Really, it was the defense. I wanted more from that defense in that NFC Championship game. Now, here's the thing. There were times where this defense was phenomenal, and we were complimenting them week in and week out. But in the game that mattered the most, it was just some subtle mistakes. So maybe you do add a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. If you're looking at this offense, you already have three studs. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams. You just bolster up that defense a little bit more, because what did they need in that NFC Championship game? Just one more play or one less mistake on the defensive side of the ball. So for me, I'm looking at the Packers, hoping that maybe they add a little defense to help out Aaron Rodgers in the moments that matter.
My Dynasty Fantasy League, A.J. Dillon. I loved him. What do I do with him now?
Certainly doesn't help him.
Second rounder. They've got Love. They've got these two backups to these great at premium positions in the draft. What are we doing?
They viewed Aaron Jones as, to Kyle's point, in the near future, he's so good. We got to bring him back. A.J. Dillon will be there eventually.
Yeah.
But
primary backup if they lose.
It's still a two-back system. Let's not get it twisted. They're not going to run him into the dirt.
Scary, and this is what we do. Aaron Jones is a famous running back. We all have in our fantasy thing. And he's great on Instagram.
We'd like him to have good
him.
numbers.
Yeah, but like the Lindsley thing is not sexy, but it's like that's a really important part of the offense that is not as fun to talk about. But
he helps Aaron Jones do what he does.
He does.
And to Kate's point, you have A.J. Dillon. For nothing, economically wise.
Do you keep A.J. Dillon and then not pay Aaron Jones?
Well, I remember when Dillon went nuts against the Titans that night, and everyone saying, here it is, here it is. And I remember Rodgers was notably like, let's wait a sec. We're not saying this guy is Earl Campbell yet. Like, he was pumping the brakes in the media, and maybe he knew that maybe he isn't.
You guys have to keep in mind, too, the luxury of having a running back like Aaron Jones, where Aaron Rodgers can look back, change the play 1,000 times, look in the eyes of his running back, and they're on the same page. You're telling me a rookie going into his second year is going to have that same type of knowledge of the playbook? No, he doesn't. So that's why they kept Aaron Jones. It's more than just football and him scoring touchdowns. It's also Aaron Rodgers being comfortable with the dude behind him.
And Triggs, Aaron Jones was comfortable there, right? The fact that he didn't even test free agency. Drew Rosenhaus's agent rep saying he wanted to be a Packer before this even started.
If the numbers are right and they're even close to that, then the agent did a fantastic job, and Aaron Jones should be jumping for joy. I don't know if he would have gotten even more on the free agent market. It doesn't matter. He was so happy in Green Bay, and to feel finally the love back, I know that's important for him too.
And we know Marquez Valdez.